and I'm the newest member of the Toastmasters. Mary, I actually found out about Toastmasters from Mary. She posted a flyer in our office, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Toastmasters? I was a member years ago, probably, I'd say going back over 10 years. Great organization, helps everybody improve themselves, not only just their speaking, but the way they talk, the way they speak, the way they move their bodies, so it's a great thing. I'm very excited to improve myself. My ultimate goal is to work with, I do work with a lot of children, teaching them basketball and personal development. So my ultimate goal is to be able to do that on a more consistent basis and affect a lot more lives. So the title of my speech is called Follow Your GPS. Now, when you hear the term GPS, what do you think of? Think of navigation, right?
Navigation.
Think of turn-by-turn directions. You think of destination, you think of a starting point, and then most importantly, think about recalculating. Okay, if you get off course, which most of us are in our lives, you get off course, you have to find a way back on course. So GPS, in my mind, and I think, and I believe in the mind and the lives of everyone who's successful in any endeavor that they do in their lives, GPS stands for go prove something. Okay? It's being that I work with kids for so long with the basketball industry, teaching them about life and about basketball, I've noticed that we've entered what I've coined Generation E for entitlement. Okay, and it's not just with the youth, it's with the adults as well. We're in a world now where we think that we don't have to work for things, where things should just be handed to you. And, you know, the way I kind of stress it to the kids, and now even more so to the parents, like, when you first came in, everyone here works for Con Edison. Now, say you're going for a new position. Do you just walk into the interview and, oh, I got it? It doesn't work that way. You have to earn it. You have to answer the questions. You have to show that you belong and that you deserve to get the position. And with the youth, because of the industries that with youth sports, now I don't know if anyone is really familiar with youth sports, but there's two sides of a spectrum, so to speak, two sides of an issue that is in deep, deep contrast. And the first side you have is the AAU sports, okay, the traveling teams, the teams that travel all over the country and they get ranked, and you know they're saying, oh, this 11-year-old is the best player in the country, and it's a win at all costs, and it starts from as early as like 3rd grade, and you know you have kids changing teams because they don't get enough playing time. You have the parents complaining to the coaches about their playing time, and it's you're coddling the kids. I mean, that's what it boils down to. You see it in all sports today, where you have the guys who, you know, they can do whatever they want, and the teams just stand by them. And it's not the way the world works, you know. And then you have the other side of the spectrum, which I totally disagree with, is participation trophies. You know, you just show up and you get a trophy, and all that's doing is teaching the kids that they don't have to work for anything. You know, when I was growing up, you got knocked down, you got back up. You know, I used to play basketball and still play as much as I can, but I still play. And when I got knocked down, I was at the court the next morning at 6 o'clock shooting and playing for like 5-6 hours because I wanted to get better. And that doesn't exist today anymore. It's more about, oh, well, the coach doesn't like me. And the parents, they back that up. They'll go to the coach and yell at the coach. And the parents will tell the coaches and the trainers, like, I train players, and I've had parents come up to me and be like, well, why are you talking to my kid about their mental toughness? Like, are you kidding me? That's what life is. Life is 90% mental and 10% of what you do physically. And that's what we're missing in this world. Now, the biggest thing about participation trophies is that, like I said, they don't get to earn anything. They don't get trophies for the MVP. They don't get trophies for, you know, the most improved player. They don't get defensive player in the year, just for showing up. And that's not the way life works. Now, what I think is that, my personal experience is that I believe people can change. I've changed myself. I was in the military, like you guys know. And I first got into personal development when I didn't know what to do with my life. I was going nowhere. I was in the military, in the Coast Guard, and I didn't have a direction, even though I was in the military. And I started listening to personal development. I started listening to the Tony Robbins, the Les Brown, guys of this nature that make you understand that you can actually affect the way you think and the way you feel. You know, the best thing I ever heard was a way to understand how you can affect your feelings. They say to you, what is one thing that precedes every single feeling that you have? One thing, and it's a thought. The thoughts that go into your mind affect the way you feel. Perfect example is if someone passes away that's close to you. You can look at that. Now, the death itself doesn't cause you to feel a certain way. It's just an event. But it's how you perceive it and what emotions you attach to it, what thoughts go through your mind. So if you say, oh my God, I'm going to miss this person, there's everything, then that's what you'll feel. But if you celebrate the person and you look at all the good things that you had and the fun and the excitement that you had, then you can celebrate. I'm not saying that you're never going to grieve, but it would be a different perspective that you look at it. And to get to our word of the day, egregious, just as the backtrack, is the participation trophies are egregious. There is no point in doing that for children because they don't get to fall down. The only way they get better, the only way any of us get better, is to fall down. I'm up here, I've spoken with groups of kids, I've done network marketing for years, and I've spoken to groups of 1,000 people. But I'm here to get better. I want to fail. Because I used to tout the quote that, failure is not an option. I'm sure everyone's heard that quote before, failure is not an option. I disagree. That used to be my favorite thing. I was actually considering starting a company called Fineo, failure is not an option. I decided against it because in what I've experienced, failure is your only option. Success in life and anything that you do is going from one failure to the next without losing your enthusiasm and your confidence. And that's very important to me because I work with kids, and my wife and I adopted a little baby boy, 3 years old. He's going to be 3 tomorrow. We adopted him from birth, took him home from the hospital. And I'm scared to death of what the world's going to be like 15, 16 years from now when he starts understanding what life is. So, what I'm trying to do here is, I guess, I would like this generation to be called Generation GPS, where people go out and try to prove something, but not to everybody else in the world, but to themselves. So that's my speech. I hope everyone enjoyed it, but anything I can do for anyone, my book is out, and you guys can have a look. I left a copy here. It's called Go Prove Something. So it's geared towards the youth, but I think every parent and child read it together. It'll be a great experience. Thank you very much.